Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nicholas and you're currently watching Easy Going. Today we're not going to talk about sneakers, how we normally tend to do on this channel, but rather we're going to have a little follow-up to a video that I made 2.5 weeks ago about earbuds. So in my original video I reviewed the Jabra Elite 75T, a pair of earbuds that are really booming right now, are super popular and are great. Sadly they were just not doing it for me, especially concerning the fit, and this is sort of going to be a follow-up video to that video, and I'm going to be talking about the earbuds that I will be replacing the Jabra Elite 75T with, and also a very strong competition, a very popular pair of earbuds, and those are the Apple AirPods Pro. Let's get into it. So let me tell you guys right from the start, I am sticking with this pair of AirPods or earbuds. I had them now for 2.5 weeks and I am truly happy with my purchase. I did not return them, as you guys can see. I already actually have a case for them, and yeah, this is pretty much how they look. I'm very sure you guys are familiar with the look. They look almost like the original pair. Of course the box is sort of sideways and they are a little bit smaller. But before we get everything mixed up, let's go step by step. I would like to start with the unboxing, what is in the box. Then I will go to the case. I'll sort of tell you the pros and cons of the case, what I've experienced so far, and last but not least, we're gonna get to the golden nugget, which are the AirPods themselves. And of course for these I will also let you know the pros and cons. So first and foremost, let's actually focus on the unboxing. So when we open the box we have 4 things inside. First and foremost, the AirPods Pro plus the case, a cable that has a lightning to USB-C, so you can connect the AirPods Pros to your new MacBook Pro or to any fast charger. Then of course we always have the instructions and stickers, and last but not least, with these AirPods, since they have the in-ear design, they're gonna come with some ear tips for fit in small, medium and large size. And that sort of summarizes what's in the box. That being said, let's dive right into the case, the pros and the cons. So to the first pro of the AirPods Pro, the case is small. It is very small, it is nice. It's again magnetic as the old one, so you can take them out and they just sort of go in by themselves. Fantastic, very convenient, loving it. That being said though, this case is not really as compact as this one. This one are the AirPods, the first version, not the wireless charging case, although it's pretty much the same thing. Nevertheless, these ones are just a little bit more compact, they fit a little bit snugger, they feel a little bit more secure, and I have to be honest that the click from sort of the lid closing feels just a little bit better on the original AirPods. It feels a little bit more secure, it's a little bit stronger. I feel like the magnets, this feels a little bit looser, it's a little bit easier to open and close, and thus I have to be honest, I like the initial AirPods case a little bit more. Also, it's a tiny bit smaller, just so slightly. Also, I have a case right now in here, but it's ever so slightly smaller. Since we're already in the comparison, let's touch on the next point, and that is charging and battery life. I feel like the new AirPods, the AirPods Pro, take a significant longer time to charge and actually drain faster than the original AirPods. Online it says that these ones should have around 4 hours, 4.5 hours of listening time, where these ones should have 5 hours, so I do guess that Apple does state that these ones are gonna perform a little bit better. Nevertheless, with these AirPods I never ran out of battery. With these ones I ran actually last week in my office out of battery, and that was a bummer because also the charging, they support fast charging, but if you are like me, you might not have a fast charging adapter or case lying everywhere around, and then it takes really a shit ton of time to charge this case up. Now, although I'm touching upon all these points, I think it's important to keep in mind that these are really some high standards complaints, because in general I did not really encounter any problems. I'm charging them pretty much every 2 to 3 days, because I definitely am a very regular AirPod user. I use them every day at least for 6-7 hours. I use them in the gym and I use them at work for most of the time. So yeah, I'm definitely a heavy user, and this might also be why. And yeah, I have these little tiny issues, but they are nothing major or where I really go like, let's not buy them. Ooh, something that I would like to mention, which is actually better than in the old version, and that is that the LED to show that the AirPods are charged is actually on the outside. So when you close it, you can see this little green light actually right above the crown here, whereas in the older case you can see that the green dot is actually inside, so when you close it you can't really tell if they are fully charged or not. So this is a plus for these ones. Nevertheless, a small complaint again for the AirPod case is that it scratches extremely fast. So if I actually take this case off, give me a second here, you might be able to see that there are already a few scratches, and this is literally just from like really pocket wear. The case scratches extremely fast, and this is why I recommend you guys to just go on AliEx or wherever you want and to buy a cheap case. This one was, I believe, $1 or $2. I have one of these. I also have a silicone case, and both of them are performing fantastic. Well, this is sort of the wrap for the case, and let's go into the golden nuggets, into the creme de la creme, and those are actually the earbuds themselves. Now, what can I say? Apple is Apple. And I think everybody is gonna understand what I mean with that, because Apple does not have the best product in any category. It has noise cancellation, it's not the best. The Sony ones that I've experienced from my friend perform a little bit better. Any overhead earphones have a better noise cancellation. If we turn our heads to transparency mode, which is the mode where you can click between modes and you can hear sort of your surrounding and when people are talking to you, great mode, but nothing out of the ordinary. When it comes to the bottom layout, everybody is really fond of them. They really like this outside clickiness. I don't really have a problem with it, but it's also not where I go like, this is fantastic. When I had the Jabra in hand, where it's sort of more like these physical buttons, I did like it more. The settings were a little bit easier to understand. And yeah, I guess this is just a preference, but something maybe you want to look into before purchasing these pair of AirPods. Last but not least is audio quality. I'm probably not the best guy to give my opinion on this because I'm no audio engineer or nothing really crazy. The music that I listen to is pretty much just the standard hip hop and whatnot, a little bit of rap music that everybody's listening to, what many people call mainstream. So it's not like I'm really trying to get the most potential out of these AirPods, but I definitely wanted to have a good sounding pair of earbuds. And I truly believe that these provide a great sound. They are definitely better than the AirPods. The Jabra Elite had a different sound vibe. I preferred this sound over the Jabra Elite 75T. It is pretty much the same sound as the AirPods, the original AirPods if you tried them on before. It's pretty much the same sound, just a little bit crispier, a little bit more formulated, and yeah, it sounds a tiny bit nicer. Now the biggest change between these ones and the last ones are of course the in-ear. As you can see, the tip here in front will go into your ear canal, and these are actually also from the build quality fantastic, because although they go into ear, you don't feel any pressure. With many other earbuds, you do feel the pressure. When you plug them in, you feel like you're sort of, yeah, compressing the air in there, and it feels a little bit uncomfortable. You do not get this feeling with this pair of AirPods. Why? Because they actually have a ventilation that lets the pressure out, which is phenomenal. And this is just, again, so Apple. They think about everything, and Apple, again, just works. They're not the best in anything, as I mentioned before, but everything just works. Again, I will also show you just how they fit real quick, a little bit of a fitting test. This is how they look like. The profile is, I would say, fairly low. Compared to these ones, I would say if we plug one of them into the other ear, it doesn't really work because of my microphone. It looks fucking retarded. Alright. Regardless, you can see that the profile is definitely a little bit more minimalized. It looks a bit sleeker, a little bit better, and I, for that, really like it. Last point I do want to touch upon though is that these ones have sort of a cream white tone to it, which the original pair or the normal AirPods don't have. Especially in the beginning on the unboxing where I put both of them together, you can clearly see this sort of more cream white look, which by itself is not really a problem, because when you don't have them next to each other, the AirPods Pro look extremely white. But when you do have the comparison, you can clearly see that it is a different shade of white, which actually I don't really like, because when everything concerning with the ears, it makes it look a little bit dirty, which they are actually not. And yeah, something maybe Apple could have implemented a tiny bit better. Yes, this sort of rounds up my review. I hope that I answered all your questions. If you have any more questions, please leave them in the comment section below. And that being said, these ones right now retail for almost $300, give or take, depending on where you buy them. Especially also here in Europe, they're around 300 euros, which is an absolutely outrageous price tag. And if they're really worth it, very debatable. But again, if you have the AirPods and you want a secure upgrade that you know are gonna fit well, are just gonna perform well, especially if you're already sort of in this Apple ecosystem, if you have a tablet like me, like an iPad, if you have the iPhone, these are almost unbeatable. And it's not really the features that it comes with, it's just that it just works. It just works, it fits good. I had no complaint with anything really. So yeah, I think it's a great choice. I can just recommend it to everybody. I hope that you enjoyed again this video. Please make sure to subscribe and like this video if you enjoyed it, which you did. And that being said, my name is Nicholas and I'm out. Peace.